Welcome to the show. We're live. We're live again on a Saturday. Saturday, not Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but Saturday. Kachunga, my friends, Kachunga. Welcome to the show. I'm Trev the Rev, and I ain't no kicker. Welcome to all those watching my interesting show. Interesting show indeed. What are we talking about? What are we talking about, Red? Soon? And soon you will discover. And soon you will discover. But first we start with the usual shenanigans. Yes, we start with the usual shenanigans. That's off. If you've enjoyed my show, please hit the thumbs up button. Just under the screen on the YouTube video, just down there, somewhere down there. And if you haven't done so already, and you'd love to see some more of my shows, please hit the subscribe button, which is also down there. And if you want to know when my videos are coming out, I'll be told my nomination, my dedication, my radiation. Just hit that bell, and you get a little ding, and a little thing comes up when my videos are coming out, and you can watch my show as live as you like. Aruga, yes, Aruga. See, three of my friends are going abroad. They're going abroad, and they're flying over there. This story was before the lockdown. It's before the lockdown. Right. So three of my friends were flying abroad. And one was English, and one was Irish, and one was Chinese. And as they're taking off the plane, it's flying for the sky, it leaves England. And as this plane flew across the English barrier, the Englishman looked back, he went, "There goes my England." And it went further, and it went across Ireland. And it went past Ireland, and the Irishman went, "There goes my Ireland." I can't do an Irish accent, sorry. Can't do it. And as he went across the waters, the Chinaman went rather broody, rather upset. "What's up?" said the Englishman. "We mean my China alone. We don't. Oh, I can't do Chinese either at the moment." He says, "We're not going in near my China, and I miss it." So the Englishman went into the Chinaman's suitcase for no reason at all. Didn't even ask permission, just went into the suitcase. He found a cup and saucer. So got the cup and saucer and he chucks it out the window, which is permanently closed because if you open it, all the air comes in and it gets sucked out. But somehow he threw the cup and saucer out the plane. He went, "There goes your China." But no, seriously, we're not there yet. The story keeps going on because as this plane keeps going, one of the engine cuts out, and the pilot puts on the announcement, I'm sorry, this is the captain speaking. We're losing our engines due to a mechanical fault, and we're going to have to crash the plane into the ocean." But as you can see, there's an island coming over, it's going over a little island. And I'm giving you the choice to jump out of the plane without a parachute. So if you were to do that, let me know. And the three people, the Englishman, the Irishman, and the Chineseman, all decided to jump out of this plane. But the pilot says, "Well, before you jump out, you've got to say three words. You jump out and go, 'God save me.'" So the Englishman jumped out and he went, "God save me." He landed in a massive haystack, massive blue straw. He was like, Irishman jumped out and he went, "God save me." He landed in the arms of a girl with his arms outstretched. He was very, very happy. The Chineseman jumped out and went, "God save me." He landed with the blades of a combine harvester. Yeah, it was that funny. Did you enjoy that? Did you enjoy that? That's two jokes for the price of one. Yeah, I know. I'm losing the plot. I'm completely losing the plot. I completely agree with you. Was it?
When he has lost the plot.
True. Yes, I've already lost the plot. I've done that ages ago. Yeah, I've done that ages ago. Ages ago. Before I start with today's subject, I thought I would start telling you what I'm doing, what I'm going to be talking about next week. What we are talking about next week. So you can get all hyped up for it. Now, we're talking about an event which is known as British Roswell. No, I'm not about Roswell in America. I'm about the British Roswell. Otherwise known as Rendlesham Forest. Rendlesham Forest? You'll find out next week. I might put a little reminder into the show as well. So you forget. Yeah. So yes, Valiant Thor. Well, a lot of people have heard of Valiant Thor, but they haven't. You see, because when we say you've heard of it, you've heard of what it's about. Now, a little while ago, I did a subject called Project Serpo, which is where when aliens come down and they took a load of British people away with them, or American forces with them, and there was a film based on the event. Was there, you say? Was there? If you see my video, you'll find out, yes, there was. It was Close Encounters of the Third Kind. But there was another film called The Day the Earth Stood Still. Now, I never knew this. Until a couple of weeks back. It's actually based on a real event, like Close Encounters of the Third Kind. But The Day the Earth Stood Still, and let me just read out basically what the film was about. And it's about an alien that comes to Earth, and it wants to stop us putting out nuclear missiles and the sort. Just in case you heard a noise and you want to know what the noise was, because it's a mad show, completely done live. These things happen. We have a mad cat today. He's running around like a lunatic. So if Gizmo may come in front of the camera, if you see my video before, he is more capable of doing that. So you never know. You might see the bum ass of Gizmo at the camera. You never know. And he's looking at me right now in a mischief mood. So you never know. In fact, here he comes. Speak of the devil, there he goes. What did I say? Did I say he was going to come this way or not? Eh? The manic cat come to say hello. He's come to say hello. Mad cat. You're not laying there, mad cat. No, you're not. Get off there. You're not laying there at all. That's a no-go for pussy cats. No-go area for pussy cats. Go see your mum. Good boy. Go see your mum. Right. Anyway. So yeah, it's set in 1928, the film, and an alien comes down and goes to visit the president. He basically says, "You're not going there." No. The alien doesn't say you're not going there. It's the cat. The cat's been a pain in the arse. 2 seconds, people. 2 seconds. Right. Anyway, you can tell this is live, can't you? You can tell this is live because you name it, it's going wrong at the moment. Anyway, right. Anyway, he's down there now. It's down there. Calm on mum's lap, Yeah. And he basically visited the government saying that you've got to get rid of all your missiles and stuff, or the Earth's going to be destroyed. That's basically what, in a blunt way, whether it's the old version or the new version of The Day the Earth Stood Still. So, let me start on the Valiant Thor. Now, when I say Valiant Thor, I don't mean Thor from the comics, right? It is not about the Thor from the comics. You can forget the comic is not that at all. Also, not the Valiant Thor pop group or rock group or metal group, we can call it. America. It's not them either. Okay, this is a different. This is the original Valiant. Yes, it was relative to the Valiant Thor. Was a Valiant Wolf for any work you want him to do. No. Yes. So, are you ready? Are you ready for the fun to begin? Yes. The information on Valiant Thor. The story is a documented case in the late 1950s. Yeah, it's an old one, black and white, of the US government and alien interaction, where a man and a few companions claiming to be from the planet Venus. Now, before we go any further, as soon as I mention the word Venus, most people go, "What? Venus is inhabitable. Their light can't exist there. It can't be natural. It's got to be fake because Venus is like a death trap." That's it. Think about it. If you come from an intelligent race, visit Earth, and you see the negativity that goes on this planet, how they will kill anything because they feel like it, raciality around, all the negative and the violent that we can be, especially in those day and age. We just come up off the back of World War II, or just come to the end of World War II, 1950. I would say at this time, just coming to the end of World War II. Would you want them to know where you actually come from? Would you? I mean, I wouldn't. I'll just tell them I come from a planet nearby. The throw of the planet. They haven't seen that far. And you can drop them a line. So, I'm not saying they have come from the planet Venus. I'm not saying they have or haven't. I'm just saying that's what I would do. If I was an alien coming here, I wouldn't want to tell them where I actually come from. I would say, yeah, I'm from that planet up there. But, when they're more civilized, then maybe I'll tell them where you really come from, Anyway, sidetracked we are. I'm going to get into claiming to be from the planet, the interior of the planet in brackets. That's what it says. So I thought I'd pass that on, right? Apparently from the interior. I'm here to help humanity grow spiritually. He said there were at least 70 other aliens from Venus living here on the Earth at that time. You've got to listen, take it, and you listen, you come to your own conclusions. The book Stranger at the Pentagon tells us a very peculiar story about an extraterrestrial down home on a mission. His name was Valient Thor with a hammer of lightning, and many believe that he was real. At 8 p.m. March the 16th, 6 days after my birthday, but not my day I was around, because obviously this day and age I wasn't around, in 1957, so yeah, it would have been just after the when the war finished. Valiant Thor, I am the god of the hammer of lightning. I arrived in a spaceship, apparently, not a sailing ship, which landed in Alexandria, Virginia, in an agricultural field, according to Doctor Strange, not the comic character. Right, not Doctor Strange, the comic character. This is a real Doctor Strange. Thor, no, I'm not going to do that again, was about 6 feet tall and 185 pounds with brown wavy hair and brown eyes. The police were the first on the scene and found him calm with only one request: take me to your leader. No. It was to meet, take me to your leader, I suppose, to meet with President Eisenhower. So they took him through the Pentagon, where he was met with the Secretary of Defense and later with Eisenhower and Nixon. And all the joint chiefs, all these chiefs, they were joined together. Valiant Thor, no, remained in the United States for 3 years. According to the book, he had been sent to Earth by the High Council to intervene on behalf of the intergalactic community. They were worried with our nuclear capabilities and how nuclear warfare could lead to the liberation of the human race. Now, I'm going to read an excerpt from the book Stranger at the Pentagon so you can understand. So this is what the part I've taken actually is. So you can listen to me. Valient Thor, the human alien from Venus. Venus, you got it. See, throw some by Bananarama in there. Washington, D.C., VIP during late 50s. Valient 4 landing 002741-57, room 4D717, Project Blue Book. See, we've talked about Project Blue Book before. By Harley Andrew Bird, nephew to the Rear Admiral Richard. That's not Admiral with a big rear, honestly. Bird, United States Navy. Jim Dunn, Valiant, April 1957. Extracted from Stranger at Pentagon by Dr. Frank E. Strange. I told you, a real person. When I asked him where he's from, he replied, I am from the planet that is called Venus. God, I'm your Venus. I'm your power god. Yeah. I asked him how many visitors from Venus were present in Earth, and he says, there are presently 77 of us walking amongst you in the United States. We are constantly coming and going. And we look human, you see, so you wouldn't dare to tell the difference. Ooh. I will just throw that in there. I'll just sort of throw it in there. Now, March the 16th, 1957, in Alexandria, Virginia, one of the finest leaders of the planet Venus, operating under the direction of the Central Control, who has been chosen to make the contact as well as direct the project. His craft, this is the actual from the book, bear in mind, from the book, and was met by 2 police officers, weapons drawn. The first thing he sees, and he can't hear in peace, is 2 people with guns facing towards him. Would you want to tell him where you're from? Would you really? Would you really? Would you really? A thought transference quickly convinced them that he meant no harm, and he was ushered into the back seat of their patrol car, and he wasn't even handcuffed. After crossing over to Washington, D.C., they were met by the Secretary of Defense along with 6 of his staff members. Soon police from every conceivable district and agency had joined in, all trying to claim their right to escort him to President Dwight Eisenhower. Through his own version of the power of positive thinking, he was able to dismiss them all and soon passed with the security post by an Air Force captain. Meanwhile, his presence in the area had thrown everyone into a dilemma. The introduction he held from the High Council worried them because, though not written in any earthly language, their minds were given power to properly translate the inscribed message. Captain Gould, not his real name, asked him to remain, and after downing 2 plain bourbons, now is that the bourbon drink, or is that 2 bourbon biscuits liquidized and drunk? My God, why couldn't this have happened on my day off? That's what he said. Typical. Suddenly the door opened, and 6 armed guards led Val to what appeared to be an elevator. It went rapidly to the bottom. Yes, it'll be an elevator. Maximum security was in place. After transferring to an underground train, they sped towards the White House. 6 officials, 6 armed guards, and 3 service station men. Service station. No, that's wrong. And 3 Secret Service men escorted him to the office of President Eisenhower. Went to see the leader. From behind the desk, the president rose, while the Secret Service men remained nervous and uneasy. As he extended his hand to shake the president, the Secret Service men drew their revolvers. See, again, their first thought was, let's put our guns out! Ooh! And pointed them at Val. Following the nod of the president, they reluctantly lowered their guns. Standing in front of his desk, the president said, on a twit. No. The president said, of course, you know we have suspended all rules of protocol. I have a good feeling towards you. Please, sir, what is your name and where do you come from? I come from the planet your Bible calls the morning and the evening star. Venus. You got it. We got it. Yeah. Sir, can you prove this? He was asked. What do you constitute as proof? Valiant replied. He quickly retorted, I don't know. Will you come with me to my ship? He answered with a quizzical look and said, my friend, I cannot come and go as I please. There are others to be considered. There are committees to be consulted and security measures to be adhered to. Otherwise, you didn't really want to go to the ship, you know. In size, I can understand. I can understand that. You might not come home again. Sink the planet without a president. That's quite a stumbling thought, isn't it? Maybe Thor should come down again, take the president away. And the Prime Minister. Yeah. Please spend some time with us here. Let's get better acquainted, learn more about one another, and then perhaps soon, real soon, we shall see. Now, at that moment, another gentleman rushed into the room. He turned out to be Vice President Richard Nixon. Now, I can't do an impression of Richard Nixon. I'm not even going to attempt to do the impression. He appeared to Val to be very sharp, quick-witted, with fixed eyes, and with amazing aptitude towards speed and proficiency. My name is Valiant, he said, as the Vice President first his hand without hesitation. You have sadly caused a stir, thought an outer-towner. The Vice President smiled as he continued, of course, we're not totally convinced of anything just yet. Suffice it to say, we are checking and double-checking everything you say and do. When Sergeant Young from Alexandria radioed in and stated that you had just landed in a flying saucer, we thought, he continued, Sergeant Young had flipped, lost his cookies. Say, were you in on that UFO flap over Washington? You certainly had us all in a dither, if it were. After assuring them that this planet had been under close scrutiny for hundreds of years, that's a thought, isn't it? We've been watched for all these years. For the 1945 bomb blast, with his special letter still in the slightly quivering hand of the president, he was requested to follow the Secret Service back the way they had come, to the Pentagon, and in a beautiful furnished apartment where he would spend the next 3 years. Fortunately, he was prepared for such a lengthy visit and kept in constant communication. Take me to your leader, Valhelm, with the starship. There were many occasions during which he teleported himself in and out of these quarters, often exercising trans-imagery to cause the security guards to visualize his face on a non-existent badge. Soon after his arrival, together with 3 members of his crew, he joined a convention in the backyard of the home of Mr. Howard Menger in High Bridge, New Jersey. Not Old Jersey, but New Jersey. The month was April 1957, not April the 1st. Honestly, it wasn't April the 1st. A certain group of individuals who were interested in UFOs were meeting that day. Val and his crew members, Don, Jill, and Tanya, that's not spelled the way we spell Tanya, by the way, Tanya, had changed into the same type of clothing worn by their friends. The meeting was very interesting, and those people were on the right track. He was dismayed to learn the undignified manner in which these people were treated by the press. Because, the press never take the mickey out of people who believe in UFOs or aliens, do they? No! Nevertheless, these people were pursuing their beliefs, and this was good. A curious young photographer, Austin C. Roberts, snapped several pictures, thinking he was doing so without Val's knowledge. The photographer seemed to be greatly troubled when he attempted to talk to him, yet it was in those very photographs which were to bring me together with this unusual man on that cold December day. Holding the message from the High Council in his hand, the President stated that Val's offer to help the human family would upset the economy, the money thing, that's the word, of the United States, and could plunge her into the abyss of chaos. In brief, he politely told Val that the people of this planet were not ready to cope with such conditions as would come into existence if recommendations of this unearthly visitor were put into action. So they're basically saying, if you can help us for free, so the public won't have to pay things, they won't be able to cope. If you let us keep making people buy things, they run out of money and end up on the streets, they'll cope. That's an American government for you. Well, sometimes the British government as well, but yeah. Nevertheless, he was invited to assist a number of scientists who were out working on the medical products directly associated with the space sciences. His allotted time to acquaint the leaders of the United States with suggestions were limited to 3 years. During this time, he refused to advise them regarding a certain bomb in the sky, which we now know as the Star Wars system. May the Force be with you. In his apartment, he was able to maintain communications with the ship and was kept informed of the growing world tensions. His uniform underwent rigid tests at the time. By today's standards, it would now be obsolete. He attempted to penetrate the material with a diamond drill bit, but it snapped under pressure. Acid rolled off the uniform and burned a hole in the floor. Acid. He fired a high velocity rifle at the uniform. It failed to pierce it. Strong stuff, you know. Report to the president read: physical appearance, soft silver and gold lustrous fabric. Unknown weight, 6 ounces. Unknown weight, 6 ounces. So it's not unknown, is it? Oh, really? Total including boots, cut, clothes fitting like a tunic, no cuffs, pockets, buttons, zippers, clicks or hooks. No referee cigarettes. RXT2 tests indestructible. Finally, a bright-eyed colonel escorted him to a place where the final test would be performed. Val looked at the laser instrument amusingly. Upon command, the laser aimed a fine line of intense light applications by stimulated emission of radiation. The colonel began his discourse that this device contained a crystal synthetic ruby in which atoms, when stimulated by focused light waves, amplify and concentrate these waves and then emit the beam. And before you say anything, yes, Gizmo is still asleep down there behaving. As the colonel continued to speak, his smile gave way to dismay, the ray being totally ineffective against a garment. Maybe you should use some washing powder, might work. He babbled on long after the laser had been turned off. He illustrated how powerful the US had become since the splitting of the atom. He gave Val a lesson in atomic fusion. He went on to state that when a chain reaction of nuclear fission is set off by neutron bombardment in the atoms of the charge of... Is he saying all this to someone who knows all this? The good colonel finally talked himself out, and Val was conducted back to his quarters along with his uniform. Chief of States was in a constant turmoil, and confusion was the rule of the day. Indecision caused delay after delay. Economists and industrial giants conferred with politicians and military head daily. The government leaders could not reconcile Val's becoming in a position to force their hand if he so desired. Several scientists attempted to learn the secrets of interstellar travel without success. And Christmas week was now upon us. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. See, Christmas is upon us. I have been busily presenting a series of scientific lectures and speaking at a number of churches of Washington, D.C. Earlier that month, I had returned from Cuba where I was met personally with Fidel Castro. Unbeknownst to me, while working with Nancy Warren, she was one of the only few since his arrival at the Pentagon, which she was able to discern an honest and open heart, and whom loved Almighty God, her country, and her fellow man, formulated a plan whereby I would be contacted. Loads more. There's loads more of information coming your way. And we're going on. That is just a brief beginnings of the man called Valiant Thor, about his journey. You can see the government took him seriously. Like many people, to come here and try to help, he was pushed to one side. This article I've got, I took out on taking information from. It goes on. I do not want to drive people nuts with what I'm saying. and making it go tedious. So I'll stop it there. I'll stop it. But bear in mind, he did leave and he did go home. So the question remains, was he actually from Venus? Well, as I said earlier, and bear in mind, he was, first thing he saw when getting here was two coppers with guns out. Would you want to tell him where you're from? Me? No, I don't. I do believe he exists. I do believe he come down. I do believe he tried to help us move forward in our better interests. Like most people, and I'm talking about people like Nostradamus and Tesla, who want to do things for our better, that means people aren't making money out of it, get pushed to one side. And that's the curse of humanity, is the fact that any time someone wants to come forward and help us out, and it results in money being abolished, we push them to one side. So that is Valiant 4. What do you think of that? Was it interesting? Was it fun? Did you enjoy the invasion of the cat walking by the screen? Let us know. Please let us know. And I say, I'll be back next weekend. We'll be talking about Rendlesham Forest. Yes, what's Rendlesham Forest? You'll find out. It's something to do with a encounter and a lighthouse. Yes, a lighthouse. So, on that note, if you've enjoyed the show, please hit the thumbs up button. It's sort of shaped like that, like a thumb pointing upwards. Thumbs up. And if you haven't done so already and you'd like to see more of my shows, please hit the subscribe button. Subscribe! And when you want to know any videos coming out, just ring that bell. Double up, my friends. This is Trev the Rev signing off. I ain't no vicar. Until next time. Bye-bye.
How many do you have?
Only one.